How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to take some time to talk about something that I experience at times, and I figure if I'm experiencing it and thinking it at times, there's a really good chance that some of you might be as well. As many of you know that check out other channels, a lot of the comic hobby out there there's a lot of drama going on. It's kind of all about the money, all about the prices going on, and it is fun tracking that stuff, whether you're somebody that enjoys watching the drama, enjoys watching the sales, seeing things spike, things drop. Today's going to be something a little different though. What I want to talk about is a way that we kind of get in our own head sometimes. The first aspect of that I want to talk about is if you're watching this channel, chances are you watch many other comic YouTube channels, and there's a huge variety, whether it is people that are doing like I do, which is hauls I'm getting in, big books I'm getting in, things I'm purchasing, along with just some random videos here or there. But for the most part, showing off books that I've got in and sharing what I'm into with you guys. Even if you're primarily watching channels like that, it can be a little tough at times when you see other people getting either all of these books in, and it seems like they're always doing a haul with so many books each week, or they're always getting some new giant grail each week. It is so easy when you're watching videos like that back to back to think that you also have to have so much coming in each week, or you have to be acquiring another big book every week, and that's just not the case. Like I said, I know not everybody thinks that way. There have been times when I kind of toned back from buying a bit, because like I said, I noticed that I was spending way too much, way too quickly. And it's, like I mentioned in one of my videos, really easy to get yourself in that hole where it's a little uncomfortable with money in terms of how much you're spending each week to how much you have coming in each week. So when you're watching non-stop comic channels of books people are getting in, showing off their grails, their passions, it's so easy to think like, man, I've got to get in it too. I've got to get the books I want. I've got to have some of these books coming in. So many people have so many awesome books just coming in every single week. I got to start doing more of that. And that's just simply not the case. If you are in a nice financial spot based on what you have coming in for money, on your living situation, and all of that is squared away, yeah, you probably can. But for most people, that is not it. You got to budget, you got to be smart. What you do actually spend on your hobbies, you have to be a little bit careful on and make sure it's planned out and not as much impulse buying each week because you see other people buying each week. Play it smart, play it cool, make sure the books that you're adding to your collection are the books that you want to add to your collection. And you're not just kind of getting on the hype train of having something coming in every week to talk about. The second main thing that I just wanted to talk about in this video, in addition to don't feel like you need to be buying all the time. If you want to and you can afford to, that is great. But just don't feel like you have to because everybody else has books coming in and it just seems like it's the norm and everybody has this baseline money. That's not the case. Everybody has different financial situations. Everybody has stuff going on behind the scenes. Everything you see them getting, whether they can afford to or not, you never see that side of it. So never feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses when it comes up to somebody else's position in the hobby. Like I said, the other big one I want to talk about is that never feel like what you are collecting or the grade you are collecting in is never good enough based on what you see from other people. And like I said, I've been guilty of the first point and then the second point myself. As many as you guys have seen, I have been able to acquire what I consider some pretty big books, especially fairly recently, that I did not think I would ever own. I went on a bit of a buying bender in December of 2024, finally honing in on some of the bigger books I wanted, but that was after a bit of holding back from a lot of my purchasing so that I was in a very good financial spot to spend that money. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this channel, some of the books I have and the grades I have probably seems pretty awesome to a good chunk of you. They're pretty impressive books with pretty impressive grades. I'm sure a fair amount of people cannot afford those books or those books in that grade, and that is completely okay. I am in a similar boat where I consider the books I have to be really awesome, but I also follow a lot of channels, a lot of Instagram accounts that are also in the hobby, and I'm talking people getting some amazing books. Either books I own in vastly better grades, or books that I don't even know if I could hope to own. It's one of the, there's always a bigger fish out there. For instance, like I said, I have some pretty awesome books in high grade that I consider for my collection, but I do not own an Incredible Hulk 1, an AF-15, a Fantastic Four 1. I don't have any timely Captain America comics, any Golden Age, pre-code horror comics. I don't have anything that I'm spending hundreds of thousands or even five figures on. That for me and my life and my living situation isn't even a thought. I know accumulatively I've spent a really, really large amount on my various hobbies, especially my comics. But there's still a cap and a limit on what I've spent on one, which actually I think right now the most I've ever spent on one book is my raw copy of Amazing Spider-Man issue 2 that I believe I paid around $2,300 for, which for me, like I said, that's the most I've ever spent on a comic book, and that for me is a crazy huge amount. I can afford it now, but it's still not like I don't have to think about it and budget it and plan it out. But that is nothing compared to the people dropping thousands, tens of thousands, spending millions on, the graded Action Comics 1 or the graded AF-15 that sold recently. It's just unfathomable. So when you guys are watching channels like that, or even channels like mine, where I know some of the books I have and the grades I have them are not quite attainable for some of the people that are going to be watching this, that is completely okay. There's always going to be somebody else that can afford more, afford better. You don't have to buy the books they're buying. You don't have to get them in the grades they're buying, and never feel like you need to. I have found that, I've gotten some of my books that I'm really proud of. I was really proud of the grades, and, a little bit online, I see more and more, and it's probably because I acquired it recently, that more and more in my feed, I'll see that book come up, but in much better grades. And as proud as I am of the book, it kind of stings a little bit. It's like, mine's pretty cool, but those ones are better. And that does get to me at times. I don't let it get to me to the point where it really affects me, really brings me down. But we're human, and you can't help feeling that little twinge of something when you notice somebody have something better than you do. So this video is just a reminder that we are all at different points in our lives. We all have different living conditions, different budgets. We all have a lot going on. Never feel like what you are collecting, what the grade you're collecting is never good enough. Everybody says collect what you love, but also collect what you can afford that you love. Don't stretch yourself too thin trying to keep up with other people that realistically probably aren't going to care anyway. It's your hobby, it's your collection, this is your passion, you're the one that's going to look at it and see it every day. As long as when you go and you look through your boxes, it brings a smile to your face and makes you happy, that is all that matters. And it doesn't matter whether you're adding one book to your collection a week or you're adding one book a month, one book a year. It doesn't matter. Do what you can do, what you want to do, at the pace and affordability that you can do it. Don't let any outside sources influence or feel like it's swaying you one way or another, or you're changing your habits based on that. The hobby should be fun. When you get new books coming in, that should bring a smile to your face. When you work hard and you get a book that you've always wanted and you finally make it happen, that is something to be proud of. So I just want to do this quick video because I had felt that way at times, so there's a really good chance other people did as well. If you stuck out this whole video and enjoyed it, please think about going over to my Instagram as well if you just want to see some more of the books without all the talking, as I always say. It is Conlin Comics, still over on Instagram. Go ahead and check out some of my other videos here if you enjoyed this one, and thank you until next time.